छाया आसमां देखो झूमता गगन है छाया आसमां देखो झूमता गगन
Hello, everyone. I am so sorry. We are definitely starting a little bit late. Thought we were going to be early. I'm having major lighting issues at the last minute. I'm like, oh shit, the light went out. All right, so we're going to light this sage. Actually, we're lighting cedar right now, and we're going to start the Starry Night Live. It is Saturday. It's a full moon, right? Saturday, April 12th. We have the Libra full moon today. Libra full moon. Let me get my cedar going. We're not going to go too heavy on it because we got Taffy in the room. She's chilling over there in the corner. And once we light this candle, well, it's already lit, but you know what I'm saying. There we go. There we go. Now, once we get that, now we're ready for the Starry Night Live. Okay, let me get my cedar over there so it's out of the way and see who's here tonight. Our full moon. Yes. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Let me find the chat so I can see if you can all hear me. I know I got some weird light issue thingy-majigger. Oh, hopefully. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, you can see the stars. That's nice. That was the whole point. Taffy full moon. What more do we... Okay, you can hear me. Yay. What's up? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Lou S. I see you're here. Welcome. Let me go see if we can see you guys over this way too and see what's going on there and see who's all made it tonight. Yeah, we might have a slow night tonight. Every night I say that though, it ends up being a little bit, I don't know. We like a giant snowball rolling down the hill. We seem to get like, as the evening goes on, all of a sudden we end up stacking up some people. So if you are new, if you haven't been here before, once I get to the chat, I'll first list how this works. You want to get your digits to me ahead of time. Make sure I have your birth time, birth date, city and state, country, wherever you were born, your birth time is needed, right? We need that for the accuracy. And then you jump in on the chat, even if you're not like a keyboard warrior, that's okay. At least get your name in there and say hello. So, because we use that chat as the cue, first come, first serve. Okay. So for people who have been here before, or people who might just be here just because they like looking at charts and astrology, they may say that they're going to pass. So sometimes that cue can go fast. All right. So those who know the rules and they know how it works, they may just say pass in the chat. So from there, we're going to start looking at charts. But let's take a quick peek and see who is all here so that I'm just a little discombobulated right now, but we're going to get there. Let's get this rolling. All right, so I look at everybody's charts. If you're here, not a problem. For those who want me to spend a little bit more deeper time on them, you gift the channel, right? Cash App, Venmo, those are down below. Ways that you can gift the channel. You take care of that, and then I take care of you. That's how that works. All right. So let me get to this thing. Let me press on this and see what's going on. Oh, teamwork. There you go. What's going on, teamwork? Got your got your digits. Okay, hold on. I gotta shut something else down over here. Lord. Okay. All righty. Yeah, I just got off the phone with my mom too. The woman, she goes out for her walks and she's gone for over 2 hours. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's been like this whole week. So anyway, she still has to take her evening meds. She still has to eat her snack. And anyway, I was like, holy shit. Okay. I'm like, okay, mom. She's just got her own timeline. And I know it's hot where she lives. So, but okay, Lou S is here. Excellent. How you doing, Lou? Woohoo. Yep, made it for the live. Yeah, so I'm sorry, let me back up for a second. I got your digits. I got your chart drawn up. And I don't know if you've seen your chart before. I see you were first in the queue. That was pretty damn slick of you. Very good. Just real quick, just so that you know, if you haven't seen your, or if you have seen your chart, let's put it like that. Yeah, knowing like what your moon sign, your rising sign, I just like to get confirmation that I got the right chart because sometimes people give me digits and it's wacky, or sometimes my software is wacky. So I don't want to read a chart that might not be accurate. I like to kind of nip that in the bud. Okay, so Lou says Lou is talking to Team Wolves from Canada. All right, well, we got that. Lou's asking all the questions. There you go. Glad to be here. Yet Libra, full moon, 23 degrees. And when we, yeah, did anybody notice anything? God, I know a couple of things, actually more than a couple of things, like started about 5 days ago. Some interesting stuff. And I'm not necessarily saying it has to do with the full moon, but in a way, I think it does because this full moon, the sun's at that 23 degrees Aries, but you know what's sitting there at 22 degrees of Aries? Chiron. So the wounds of my body. Now that can look a whole lot of different ways for a lot of people because, yeah, that could be your gender, your race, there, yeah, it could be a whole lot of how I appear and how I identify that can be all wrapped up into the wounds of my identity. You follow? My right to exist? Yeah. So that's what's at the opposition of the full moon. And so I feel like for the last 5 days, each day there's been like this, I don't know, like these little nuggets of information of revealing things to me, like for me personally. And then today it was like a freaking revelation. Not in a bad way, not like, it wasn't like the heavens opened up and good or bad. It was just like, well, damn, why didn't this occur to me like way sooner? So I thought, wow, is this that? Well, 23 degrees, right, can kind of be like a shock, a surprise, a revelation. It's that Aquarian energy, right? So just really freaking interesting. And the full moon should be a release, right? A release in something. And I had thought to myself, because my brain, as soon as there's an event, I mean, as soon as there's some like plucked it out of the ethers type of download or whatever the hell, my brain is like, where was Mercury? Where was this? Where was the moon? Like I'm all about, my brain's just wired to the astrology. And so sure enough, like when it was really strong earlier in the day, the moon was like sitting right on my south node. I mean, right on it. And I'm like, there you go. Like it just makes a lot of sense. And so my south node is in Libra. Yeah. So there was just, I think, more of an intensification. And really, I think it's really, for me, more about, in a way, relationship with myself, understanding more about my identity and who I am type of stuff. Anyway, I know this isn't about me, but it's the Libra full moon. Yeah. All right. So let me keep scrolling. I'll just keep babbling. Yeah, the video is right below in the chat. Thanks for mentioning that. It's there. Yeah, lots of people like to watch on Sundays, or at least when they have time. And actually, I would rather people watch it when they have time that makes more sense. There's the videos are always like super knowledge dense, but for people who got their charts and you're following along, well, every little bit of information is awesome because you can apply it to your chart. So yeah, take your time. It does me better if you watch the whole video all the way through. At least that's how the algorithm reads it. All right, so every planet is starting to move forward. Buckle up. Buckle up. Speaking of buckle up, did I tell you it was a Capricorn rising on the chart that I have? Is that correct? I have a Capricorn rising at 2851 for you, teamwork F1. That's what I got. Stacy's here. What's going on, Stacy? How the heck are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Stacy's already working. She's already got a list. Yeah, my tripod broke, and so now I just got some funky. I literally have like three things like kind of glued and pasted together. Anyway, I have you see like a piece of paper here. Anyway, I got like a whole funky thing over here. Oh, and I'm just praying because if Taffy comes up here, she's gonna start ripping that shit apart. You ever see cats with paper? Oh my god, Zoe is like a cat tearing paper fiend. Yes, John D. What's up, John D? How are you doing? And John D, yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Fairy there is here. Fairy there, how the heck are you doing? Thank you for the beautiful gift to the channel. Very generous. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Fairy there says, I'm passing tonight. Angela's here. Angela, you've been in my head. How the heck are you doing? How is everything? Hopefully your nose and your lips above the waterline and you're hanging in there. I know it's a yeah. We live in strange times. All right. So okay, yes. Yes, Taffy and the full moon. Gibson's here. What's going on, Gibson? How are you? Thank you for your channel gift. I sent you an email, by the way. And I kind of need to hear back from that email. Yeah. I ask a question in it and I just need a confirmation is what I need from you. Yep. Yes, ma'am. All right. So we got Gibson Fairy there. Gibson, hopefully the headache stuff. Somebody else just mentioned to me. Somebody else was mentioning migraines. Was that today? Yesterday? Yeah. Thank God all that stuff was gone last week or whenever it was, the week before. I don't know anymore, but I was just grateful that it all passed on. I was like, get away. It really, my eyes, it was such a huge difference. So I've just really had to be super conscious and aware of like screen time and, because that's the only time I'm like, damn, trying to read fine print and trying to read like 3,000 glyphs at once. Christy, how the hell are you, Christy? How's it going? Christy said, I'm passing tonight too. Okay, well then I better see who else is here and let's get on the ball. How's it going over there, Christy? Hopefully it's just all lovely. And what about the flooding situation? Man. Gibson Murphy, any baby news? Yeah, we were looking at a chart last week. That was serious. Matter of fact, I just saw that chart because it was still on my screen and I'm like, oh, I'm hoping all went well there. I don't know. Not pushing it. Not going to pry. When people are ready to talk about whatever's going on, they will. Okay. Maybe on the 26th. Well, Lou, it's been like this the whole week. out the door like at 4:30, sometimes at 6:30. Oh, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. It's yeah, it's been crazy and just really hard to yeah, yesterday was yeah, was an event. It was an event for sure. I'm on the phone with her and she's like, "I'm going for ice cream." And I'm like, "Really?" And I realized there's somebody with her. She's not inside the apartment. And I'm like, "Okay, I don't know who this is. I don't know who this person is." And this person is asking her, "Do you wanna walk with me?" And she's describing where this place is that they're gonna walk to, and it's off the grounds of where my mom lives. And so here I am like, there's no way in hell that's happening." Like, yeah, my mom walks with a walker, and you probably wouldn't describe it as walking. It's a shuffle and a dragging of a leg, and yeah, you need to stay on the grounds, like, it's not safe, and so the other person that was asking her, I'm thinking, "Shit, this lady must be just like my mom," right? So you got, like, the blind leading the blind. I'm like, "No," I said, a couple years ago, she could have done that, but she can't do it now. She's gotta stay on the grounds." And I just thought, "Holy shit." What yeah, I didn't know what anyway, I was, like, kinda frantic for a minute there because you say ice cream to my mother, and she's like, "I'm going for ice cream." And I'm like, "Holy shit." Of all the damn things that this other person said, "Hey, we're gonna go for ice cream." And I was like, anyway, I could go on forever. Anyway, it all miraculously, it worked out okay. Thank God a couple other family members called in, and I was just like, I don't even know what to say or do. All right, so yes, I know my chart. Yes, got you. And Capricorn rising is who you are at. I got 28 degrees Cappy rising. Oh, wow. I hope I'm still here. I don't know what just happened. Oh, okay. It just got back to normal. Hopefully that didn't make a difference to y'all. Okay. Um, yeah, Zoe's a major paper biter, terror box. It's like because she doesn't have like those front claws. It's almost like she needs to get her aggressions out that way. Yeah, it's really wild. Yeah, Gibson. No, yeah. As long as you let me know by tonight or something, that's great. It's an easy one. It's something you mentioned, and I just wanted to make sure. Because I have limited availability. And for people who've already sent money and like you're always so generous and you had just sent money and I'm like, okay, let me make sure. Anyway. All right. So was it your eyes? Did you get those blue blockers? Yeah, no, I didn't get the blue blockers. I actually Haffers gave me some recommendations. Haffers, who normally comes here or who comes here a lot, he made some recommendations. So I went and I checked out a person he was recommending and, I thought, some of these are just some basic down to earth, cost me 0 money, and I said, "I'm gonna start there," and that's what I did. I started with his recommendations, and bam. And I can always as long as I pay attention to when I can feel the stress coming on, and then I know, okay, I don't go any further, I stop. I have to officially take a break. So I do that, or I'm done for for the day or for the night. And, yeah, anyway, it's made a difference. It's literally been decreasing the screen time. And as soon as I feel the little stress behind the eyes coming out, I just stop, back off, and then I'm good. I haven't had any problems so far. And so, yeah. And not only that, the dude he recommended, and he wasn't the only one. I've heard other people because I was thinking about getting the blue blockers a couple of years back. And yeah, the same information I came across is the same thing this guy said, which is those don't do anything. They don't do anything. And so I was like, okay. So I just tried the no money thing and so far that's worked for me. Okay, so already let's see the chart. Yeah, let's get his or her not very excited, not a very exciting chart. Well, we're going to look at your chart and I'm going to get it up here. And there are actually some very exciting things about your chart. Just when I had to create the chart, I was like, ooh, ooh. So there are some exciting things. And I'm kind of thinking you're trying to be humble and shit. and, yeah. Yeah, I love that Haffer's tips worked as well. You know, he's got the eye stuff, and so he would know. Like, he's been all over trying to figure out his own thing. All right. So, teamwork. I don't know if you've watched before, but normally I will put a link, and I'll put this here. This is a link if you wanna come onto the live stream. You don't actually have to do this though, okay? I put the link here because I am going to read the birth chart. I've never seen your chart. I've never read for it before, so I have to read the birth chart before step 2, and so we'll probably just do step 1 tonight. But I'm here every Saturday, and we'll look at that, and so, yeah, if a link with that link, what you do is you grab it if you wanted to have a rapport with me while I'm looking at your chart, because I will not be coming back to look at the chat while I'm reading your chart. I can't do both. Like, my eyes are over there. The chat's a separate thing. It's on a different screen. You follow? So if you want to come on, you can. If not, you can just sit and enjoy me reading your chart. Let me get it on the screen. And yeah, so that I don't sound like I'm being all secretive before I start this reading, we have a Starry Night Live private lives. Private lives. It's going to be the last Saturday of each month, and so the very first one is actually the 26th of April. Private lives are limited seating. Everything is done in advance. There is a required channel gift to be part of those. And the one for April is full. So for those who want to be involved in a private lives, I keep it small for a reason. I think it's more comfortable because in a smaller environment, well, it's going to get hot and heated and very private. You know what I mean? So I think the smaller private lives is a I think just a more comfortable setting. So with that said, you just go to the email and you let me know you want to be part of a private live so that I can get you on the calendar for the next private lives, which would be from May. All right. So in the meantime, I think, we have teamwork in the green room. Great. Let me get teamwork up here. Let me find, I somehow have to get this thing off of here. Okay, let's get teamwork in here. Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Gwen,
Hi, G.
how's it going over there?
It's good. Good weather, finally.
Oh, good. Yeah, you know what? We had a nice day today. We sure did. And then it got cold as soon as the sun went down. It was like, holy crap. Yeah, we've had cold weather.
Yeah.
We've been rain in the 30s and 40s and
Yes.
sometimes in the 20s and at night especially, and it's been a cold, rainy spring.
Yes.
Yeah, which we need the rain, so I'm not complaining, but I don't care for the 30s and 40s in the rain. That sucks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Totally sucks. All right. So there you go. That's your rising sign, and you said this is you.
Yes.
All right, awesome. 28 degrees. So that's the appearance, right? This is our physical body and how we appear. Something really interesting about that. There's like history involved with this 28 degrees. So it's the appearance, and there's some history there. It's feminine energy. It's kind of like moon energy. Okay, so maybe like a mom, something with feminine energy
Mm-hmm.
and ancestry and family. And when we have that kind of energy, sometimes we kind of carry it possibly over, like, because this is mom energy and that's dad energy. You know, Capricorn, the authority figure, like dad energy. So for you, I find this fascinating on the ascendant because it's like a combination of mom and dad almost. But there's history There's history, and it's at the location, not just only your appearance, but where you're located. Now, I know this is your birth chart. And so on, yeah, you're born in a different country than where you are, right? And so the ascendant and that 28 degrees, I'm curious if you feel because I don't need your whole history as far as like if you've moved around, right? Or if you've always been like, because some people are born in one location, but they grew up in an entirely different location. I'm curious for you if you were moving like towards family, closer to family, or if because there's just something there about home and family.
Yes.
And so if this is where you were born, but yet, possibly you grew up here. Did you grow up there as well?
Yes. Yes.
You did. Okay. So it
Yes.
wasn't until later then, like as an adult, that you moved away?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. All right. So here's some other interesting things. Yeah, really interesting. You have a Chiron at 0 degrees in Pisces. Now, Chiron, whenever anybody talks about Chiron, right, the wounded healer, okay? But in Pisces, everyone says, well, this is a healer. That's like a signature mark of people who are literally born to be healers. Like all of us have these healing abilities. And we all have Chiron somewhere in our chart, right? So we can all heal ourselves and certain degrees of others that we come into contact with. But when Chiron's in Pisces, Pisces has that ability. It's that 12th sign, 12th house. And so it's the culmination of all the signs, right? And so Pisces can bring the understanding and attach to the wounded healer, healing and the healer energy, whether you call it spiritual healing, whether it's alternative modalities for healing, whatever it might be. But that's not all. That's not all. You have some really interesting things. So the 0 degree, I'm going to kind of stick with that for a second. You have Black Moon Lilith over here at 0 in Leo energy. Okay. Now she can be our shadow side. She can be our shadow side, like a shadow part of our personality, but because yours is in your 7th house, it speaks to partnership energy, right? So personal, professional, it can be, the business partnerships, it can be like love relationships. 0 degrees is intense energy. Just like your Chiron, it's intense. It's extreme energy, and it's usually a crisis point. And Leo energy can be like authority figures. Okay, because it's masculine energy. It's Leo and the son and a father figure type of thing. So that 0 degrees Black Moon, it's what we call a quincunx to your healer energy, to your Chiron. Okay. So if I take that line and I draw that to that, right? It's a quincunx. So the quincunx then, it's coming from relationships, significant one-on-one relationships. And the quincunx is an uncomfortableness. It's like an agitation. It's an irritation. And we usually have to like do something. We usually have to take an action, like when you have an itch and you just got to itch that damn thing, but you're back up against. So it kind of forces something to occur. But remember, you got these 2 0 degrees, and those are extremes, and they're considered crisis points. So you have like something with relationships, and like a hidden, there could be ego tendencies because it's Leo energy, something with, it's my way or the highway, the authority figure energy in partnerships. Okay. Masculine energy. This can be like at a job, a boss, a parent, a parental figure, literally dad or whoever like the father figure was. It can be that too. So for women, especially if a woman is like in a relationship with a man, sometimes they gravitate towards people who are kind of like dad or who the authority figure was when they were growing up. And so there's that quincunx, which can help activate and trigger some of those healing capabilities. Because many times, well, if we don't have a wound that we're aware of, our abilities kind of sit dormant. And so here's another point, 0 degrees. And this is 0 degrees in fire, just like your 0 degrees you had over there in the Black Moon Lilith. And this is a Jupiter and Neptune point. Jupiter and Neptune midpoint, right? It's at 0 degrees. So it's another extreme thing because it's at 0 and it kind of creates, again, like a crisis point. All right. There's stress and tension with this one because this one creates a square to your Chiron, stress and tension. Might have to do with your beliefs, groups that you belong to, social causes. This is institutional energy as well. And then I also want to point out the opposition to this because it creates a lot of stress and tension to your Chiron. At the opposition, you have a 0 degrees Mars.
Yeah.
I would say these are really significant things for a person, to kind of be able to basically master this kind of energy because it's extreme energy at 0. And Mars and Gemini at 0 is pretty intense. It's a strong communicator. It can be an impulsive communicator. It can, there might be some things that just kind of come out, like it's like, oh shit, did I just say that? Like that can happen with Mars and Gemini. Strong communications may be considered aggressive at times, but definitely assertive. So when we connect this to the Chiron, do you see what I'm doing, right? It's the 0, and then I connected it to the opposition. It's a strong T-square. These 3 are all at 0 in your chart. You follow?
Yes.
So something with my mind and my thoughts and my communication style, right? It's really creative energy though, because it's in your 5th house, which can be great for writing. So I'm not sure if you're into, whatever your creative endeavors are, if you've utilized that skill set, because Mars would need that outlet. So to me, if it's not somebody writing, I don't know if people write anymore, like as in journaling or writing a book or whatnot, manuscripts, whatever, vlogging for sure, blogging, like anything digital, social media, like this would be strong for this, really strong. And the creative aspect would be part of it too. So sometimes, it just depends how you use your creativity. But at 0 degrees, Mars really kind of likes to really be in the thick of things. Debating, Mars at 0 degrees in Gemini, a great debater for sure. And so the Chiron energy comes to boundaries, knowing boundaries, my own boundaries, recognizing my own and others' boundaries. These are emotional boundaries. These are energetic boundaries. This is like my space, my solitude. This is, being okay with moments when I'm alone and knowing when I need the downtime, because with a Chiron in Pisces, that would be vital. And so boundaries are big, and knowing my space and being able to set those boundaries and being okay with it. Like, like not having to feel like you need to give an explanation as to why you need to set your damn boundaries. Because a lot of, when it comes to Pisces energy, this energy is a sacrificial energy, right? It wants to, it's just, it knows how to do that really well. It's to serve, to sacrifice, to be the last person thought of. And it actually can feel guilty if it has to say, hey, these are my boundaries. Like it feels like it has to explain itself. And I don't know, lately I'm just been, because you have a South Node in Pisces, okay? And with that South Node, they're like, how to do the whole Pisces thing. Like this is not new for you. You're all about, the service and the sacrificing and the surrendering, right? Like, okay, non-confrontational. Although you have who the hell is going to say non-confrontational to a 0 degrees Mars and Gemini, right? So in a way, that Mars can help balance some of the South Node superpowers that can end up being a wound and a I don't want to say weakness, but a sore spot that makes it difficult. That makes it kind of difficult because I think Pisces in Taurus energy, Pisces in the second house, I think that can be very tricky energy because there's a Taurus and Pisces, there's a desire factor and a magnetic ability in that second house, but Pisces can be addictive, as Taurus can be too. So there's a thing there where I can be addicted to sacrificing. I can be addicted to always being the one who just nobody else is going to do it. I have to step up. I have to take care of this type of thing. And it's almost like a martyr thing. Not saying that you are, but there's definitely the capability because it's Pisces and it's in that second house, which is very much like this is important to me. And it's your superpower. So we gravitate, we pivot, and we kind of rely on our superpowers. The other thing, you have a lot of things. You have a sun that trines its moon exactly.
Yes.
Wow. What I would love to have that. For real. Confident and courageous is your sun. 10 degrees, boss energy, authority figure. You have this as your sun sign, right? Yeah. So this is very colorful, very just out there, right? Very, very individual and unique. And yeah, I got a cat at the door. Hold on, make sure it's not Taffy. Oh, it's Taffy. Hold on. I got to let her out because she might need to go to the bathroom. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Okay, Taffy, honey. I thought that was your sister trying to get in the room. Okay. Okay. There you go. Watch your tail. Okay. Alrighty. So having the sun in Leo, the 7th house, also signifies the partnership, whoever you're in partnership with, significant one-on-one relationships, business as well, boss energy. Yeah. Partner who can have like this, they can be older than you. Maybe you might gravitate towards people that are older. And even if they're not older by age, there's something wiser about them, like something you look up to in a way that can be there. You also have Uranus and Leo and Venus, and they're together. So new is yeah, wow. Venus connected to Uranus, shiny, can be very spontaneous. Uranus, exciting and different. And then there's your moon, 10 degrees, more boss energy. You got it in Saggy, very confident. So you got the Leo sun, courageous. You got the Saggy moon, confident, right? Very confident energy, connected to Juno. Like, wow. I saw this and I'm like, wow. So and then you got Jupiter in Saggy. Nice. Holy crap. Nice. Seriously, like that's where Jupiter belongs in Saggy. Here's the thing, you got this in your 11th house. So do you see the mutual reception you have with Uranus in Sagittarius? Because you have Uranus, fiery Uranus over here with Venus. It brings trine energy. And then you've got Saggy sitting in the house that Uranus rules. You see? So there's a great communication and networking that goes on between these two and the future. Do you get downloads about the future? Almost like lightning bolts, though it might just seem like it comes in a flash. Because Saggy is typically going to be kind of like a prophetic, almost prophecy, maybe in dreams and visuals. They're usually very visual. But then the 11th house, the Aquarian energy, Uranus rules this, right? This can be flashes of inspiration and information, and it seeming like I'm getting a download. What the hell is this? Where it's like, where did that come from? So you have this fascinating combination. Anytime people have like Uranus in Saggy, they're usually really fascinating people because they kind of have their antennas up all the time, and they're like tuned in. They're tuned in. So I don't know if you're aware of that. Maybe you are, but
No,
yeah, you're not aware of that, or you're saying
no,
no, you never have that?
not really.
Wow. Really? Then I say you're in for an interesting time because because having this, you see, you've got Venus and Uranus, and then you've got this eighth house cusp line that they're on. They're conjunct your eighth house cusp line. And that mixture, it's a mixture of Saggy, of Scorpio, and that 11th house and Uranus energy. It's just a powerful trine you have. You have so much in Saggy and so much in Leo, but having this group information and having the downloads, it's really, yeah. I would say for someone with all this in Aquarius energy, that maybe there are some gifts that you are going to be embarking on and revealing and just, yeah, opening up an envelope and seeing what's inside. Because when this Uranus in June, you said it yourself, when Uranus is making a move, you said planets making moves. Uranus is going to sit on your Mars, right? It's going to
Yes,
sit on your Mars, and then it'll end up, not this whole year, of course, because it retrogrades. But once we get past this year, you're going to be experiencing Uranus going through the Gemini energy. Okay.
yes,
Well, that's in opposition of all of this. So the mind and thinking and talking and the internal communications within the body, Gemini. Okay. Well, you're going to have Uranus there. Well, in a person's chart, the 11th house is also Uranus. So this means you're going to have, for like 7.5, 8 years, you're going to have Uranus coming in and communicating with you in your thoughts, your beliefs, your ideas about the future, your thoughts about the future. I think for you, you might be getting information and you may see it just as your own ideas and your own thoughts. Because with this kind of energy, I don't see how the hell you're not getting this information. I don't see how you're not. And with a busy mind, do you consider
yeah,
yourself as having a busy mind?
yes,
Okay. With a busy mind, you're probably like, how would you decipher the difference then?
exactly.
Maybe that's what it is, because I don't have my Mars in Gemini, so I can't talk about it like I really, really know about it. But I can only imagine, because you've got air in a firehouse and fire and air, whoosh, right?
Yeah,
When we mix fire and air together. And Uranus is electrical. So it's going to be here. And when we have Uranus and Mercury together, which is what this is going to be, because Mercury rules Gemini. When we have Uranus and Mercury together, our mind gets activated. And, whenever we mix Mercury and Uranus energy, or Mercury and Aquarius energy, Uranus and Gemini, this is like super smart energy.
mm,
We like rocket scientists, like when we see people's birth charts and they've got like Mercury and Aquarius, it's like, oh shit, this is going to be a smart one. They can connect all these dots, the details, the small picture to the big picture. They can understand layered thinking, the scientific stuff. And so I would say that this is going to be very interesting, very exciting, because that's Uranus. It's exciting. And you'll have it in the 5th and the 11th house. Okay. So the 5th house is your creativity.
Yeah.
So if you have been writing, great. But when Uranus goes through there, wow, I want to know what the hell you're going to be writing about or communicating about or vlogging or blogging, because this will really get activated. It's creative energy, and Uranus screams new and exciting, different, unique. It's the inventor.
Mm-hmm.
It's the inventor.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the main things where when I first, when I draw the chart up, I was like, holy shit, interesting. Really, really interesting. The other thing too is I think you did mention something. This is the Scorpio degree right here. You have this on your second house cusp line. Scorpio is like, well, it's intense energy. It's powerful, trauma, tragedies, the past, right? It's all that. It's also known to be the healer or healing what needs to be healed. What needs to be healed? Okay. What needs to be healed and transformed? That's Scorpio energy. So having the Scorpio energy here with the Aquarius energy, second house cusp line is my values, how I make money, how I receive, what I value. Okay. Something new, something exciting, something different that's deeply meaningful, that's changing, and that's transformational. That's that degree. That's your second house cusp line. And Cirrus energy's right there. So what this tells me then too is group energy and friends would be a big deal for you. And not only a big deal, I don't know, like I'm not sure what you're considering, but people who are able to, a lot of people do one-on-one work in terms of healing. I had have some friends who are like big into that kind of stuff. And for them, I don't know, they used to give me lots of different names of people, and group healing was like a thing. Like people would go to, I don't know if they were considered like workshops. I don't know what the hell they were called. They were events of some sort, and people would go, and there'd be like just one guy on the platform or the stage or whatever talking. But like they would say that he would like just look out into the crowd and people would walk away and he would heal the entire crowd. I was never there. So I'm just telling you what I've heard people tell me. And I would just be like, oh, okay, interesting. I,
Yeah.
yeah, interesting. But group energy, social causes like Aquarius is the humanitarian. Okay. And of course, friends, but also live streaming and the internet. Like this is Aquarius energy, technology. It's also astrology and science. And remember, I started talking about Uranus multiple
Yeah.
times, didn't I?
Yes.
Uranus rules Aquarius. So Uranus is here as well. You follow? So
Yes.
the connecting of the dots of doing something different and new and exciting, there's going to be an activation for you when Uranus gets here,
I hope so,
right?
because yeah, until now is I've been going through a wall. Like nothing
Mhm.
goes through it. But
Mhm. So everything's been kind of slow and stagnant. Is that what you mean?
yeah,
Like
well,
nothing's working out?
I had Pluto over my ascendant for the last 3, 4 years, so that was tough.
Mhm. I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about that.
It passed. It's gone.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear you got out of that.
Yeah,
Um,
I hope
so
so.
well, yeah, I mean, in a way, right? And then you're changing and transforming who you are, how you appear, because Pluto is now here.
Yeah.
So your appearance and how people, when people look at you, what they see, who they think you are, right? So it can be a physical
Mhm.
transformation, it can be a location, it can, something to do with these, usually Aquarius is really different and unique, right? It's very independent energy, even though if it's about groups, I know it makes no sense, right? It's I
No,
stand out, even though
I
I'm in a group.
understand.
something about me is unique and I stand out within that
Yep.
group. Okay. So this is Chericlo that's right here. And Chericlo is the wife of Chiron, the wounded healer. These are husband and wife. And with Uranus, going through Aquarius or going through Gemini. Remember, this won't be until 2026, okay? But as Uranus goes through this Gemini energy, it will be working really, really, like things will just happen because it's going to be Uranus in Gemini communicating eventually with this Chericlo. So Chericlo, remember, the wife of Chiron. So what does that mean? Chiron, the wounded healer, right? And that means Chiron's doing healing not only of self, but possibly for others as well, being a part of their healing process. So where does Chericlo come in? Well, she's a witness. She's just a witness to it. She's a witness to Chiron being in pain, going through his own wounds, but then also witnessing Chiron's ability to help others heal. So I think that's kind of fascinating because you're going to experience that yourself because it's in your first house. Okay. So
Yeah.
you are literally, like there's a change and a transformation in place for you as well. And possibly you somehow being a role and witnessing others' transformation, others' healing, possibly some sort of a group energy thing possible. Because the Aquarian stuff just keeps like it comes up a lot of ways here in your chart. And here's another indicator too. Remember, 20 degrees Scorpio degree, right? Healing the trauma from the past. It's also shared interests, shared values. But your Uranus, your natal Uranus is at 20 degrees. This is your natal Uranus at 20 degrees. It's at the Scorpio degree, conjunct Venus.
Yeah.
How I make my money, what I value. They're together. You have them together. You see what I'm saying? So something different, something new. So if you said you felt like you were stagnant, hopefully this connection, when things start getting activated for you, hopefully, it's new, it's different, it's exciting, and hopefully it's what you want. Hopefully it brings something that you're like, yes, I can get excited about this. Working with the public and communications with the public is big. Health is in the 6th house for you in this chart. And the public is Cancer energy. Again, it's home and family and something with the past. Feminine energy is strong here, right? But my ancestry possibly is part of this. And there's this strong communication because Mercury's there. Okay. So I think you have some really fascinating things in your chart. And you are also having, and I'm going to kind of, we got to point this out. Right now, we have the South Node in Virgo right now, right? Yeah, we have the South Node in Virgo. And this is where's this at right now? Like 25 degrees, I think, 26 degrees. Yeah, just went from 27 to 26, or maybe it didn't hit 26 yet. Anyway, the South Node's right here. So you're going to have a nodal reversal this year. You see this? The South Node is going to eventually get to 16. Oh, is that why you're here tonight? She's like, yeah, I know about it, damn it. So when this happens, I would suspect that this would be a big deal for you because it's also
Good
a
big
house.
deal. A good big deal.
Well, this we're gonna kind of I'm gonna kind of touch on this right now for you. The nodal reversal is a change. It's a change. Now, I think this could mean a good thing because you were saying how you've been stagnant. Nothing's been working for you. So in other words, you're welcoming a change. You're like, yes, I need a change. Well, a change is coming. You're getting a nodal reversal. What happens is the South Node comes by and it releases something. It's like, okay, we're done with this. It touches on your North Node. and it gives your North Node like a new set of goals. It says, this is the new direction we're headed in. It's to align you more along with what your soul's goals are for you in this lifetime. Now, for people who kind of are already aligned with that, it may make changes for them that kind of help them to expedite the path that they're on. If you're not on the path that you want to be on, this South Node will help you to do that. But it does require change. Now, where is it making a change? It is on your 9th house cusp line. So it's going to change your beliefs about what you do, possibly for work, because it's Virgo. Virgo is work. It's also my health. It's my thoughts and the beliefs about my future. 9th house can be, when we talk about people's and careers in the 9th house, sometimes people go back to school and get additional education in the 9th house, like higher education. Because if it's connected to Virgo and my day-to-day routines, I'm making a change with what I do with my day-to-day routines. Virgo people they're really into the details. You're already going to be
Yeah.
flooded with details because of your Mars and Gemini, but the
Yeah.
Virgo people, the details are important. It's not usually a really flashy job. It's not usually, it's something that's might be considered pretty boring, possibly because it's Virgo energy. But if that's where you're at right now and you need to make a change, then hopefully you get on the path of something that's more interesting. Virgo can be pets. Like, I don't know if you're drawn to animals, if you work with
Mhm.
animals, because
Mhm.
Virgo is domestic pets, but healthcare is a big deal with Virgo energy. And the details, like
Yeah.
there's cleaning, there's housekeeping, like it's all very servant type of work, but also clerical because Mercury's the ruler of the Virgo energy. Okay. But higher education is the 9th house, going back to school or possibly publishing. That's also the 9th house. Justice, the justice system, lawyers, like this is also the 9th house energy. And so we kind of think, well, who the hell knows? Your imagination and your skill set, and combined with lots of people have been going and just getting like, oh, I don't know, extra certification because they want to make a change of the job. They want to take the skills they have, but they want to certify into something else. So that's where it comes in, all that mind power that you have. You have a lot of mind power. What I can tell you is your North Node is, this is moon energy again. This comes up as moon energy. That 16 degrees is moon energy. So again, whether it's working with ancestry, feminine energy, women in the law. I mean, I think you said you're in Canada. Is that correct?
Mhm.
You said you're watching from Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all got rules like we have here, or have rights stripped away like that we've had here stripped away for women, but if you were here, I would be like, oh, we need help. Women are losing their rights. But if you don't have that problem, where you're at, but there can be, when we think of history. So when we think of history and ancestry, there can be doing work with people, like whether it's indigenous peoples, because the moon keeps coming up for you.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you have a lot of moon degrees in a lot of different ways in your chart. And so your North Node, this is water energy. So emotions, maybe it's working with the emotions of the past. It could be that. And with the Virgo connected to it, we think the details. We think
Yeah.
of what am I hearing? Like perfection and being hypercritical, maybe hyper self-critical,
Yeah.
because it's like on the 9th house cusp line. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe mom even. Who knows? The moon is also mother wounds.
Yeah. My
Like there's
mother is a Taurus, so she was very strict.
Okay. Well, there we go. Taurus can be very fixed. You have Hygeia right next to it. You see Hygeia right there at 14 and the North Node at 16. This symbol for this Hygeia, it's a report card. So it's a report card about all the Virgo things in your chart. And now that I said, mother wound, eighth house, mom energy, because the eighth house, even though that's a minute, we're in the eighth house with this Virgo energy. You follow? The report card and the perfection and the details. So if mom was really strict then, was it, did she have these really high expectations? And like, Virgos are really good with organizing and cleanliness.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, maybe there's something that you still carry from childhood. Some women are like, God, I have to give myself permission to like leave the dishes or not, because of their upbringing and how strict, the parents were or mom was or whatever. But this is a health report card. So even if it's not about a health report card in health, maybe it has to do with work because it is in the house of shared values, the eighth house of the shared values. Okay. But shared values, this is also the house of the wounds and vulnerabilities. Usually when people have some Virgo in the eighth, these are pretty smart people too. You have a lot of different markers in your chart about being smart. Yeah, because they are, when you mix Virgo and eighth house energy together, woo, and you have Pluto there. These people can dig like nobody else.
Yeah.
Talk about research. These people are like the super detectives of the zodiac. When you mix Pluto and Mercury and the eighth, holy crap. So knowing these are some of your major strengths, right? I feel like this, maybe there's something coming up with your job and maybe you're ready to make a change or, and if you are, it's because the South Node's going to touch on your North Node because that ninth house talks about my future and your beliefs about your future. So whenever when we're thinking about our future, we might be like, you know what? God, I don't want to do this anymore. It's just not.
Say that. It's like, okay, I had enough. I need to change, but nothing is coming. Nothing is coming.
Gotcha. So you've been working at this already, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're ready. You're really ready. She said, I'm really, really ready. Well, here's the thing. Just a real quick glance, and then I'm going to end it with this.
Yeah.
Remember when I mentioned Uranus?
Yes.
In June, it's going to get here. But it's even going to be in May is where you're going to start to feel this, especially the last 2 weeks in May. You're really going to start to feel this because you've got stuff at 28 and 29, and Uranus is going to be touching on these. And then they're going to activate your Mars because they're so close together. This is a part of fortune right here for you at 29 degrees.
Yeah.
That's a part of fortune. So even if it doesn't trigger something that you're like, yes, that's the thing, at least you're seeing movement of some kind. Because then Uranus you'll get to 2 and it'll back up. So you have some retrograde action that's going to happen. We all do, which means you're experimenting. Okay. And so that's what you're going to do because that's what Uranus is good at. It's good at sampling and tasting and experimenting. It's excited about different and new and freedom. It's really excited about having the independence and the freedom. So just take it as like, you're experimenting because what will eventually happen as time goes on, if you need something different and new, well, just give it a little bit of time because when 2026 comes, this Uranus, it's going to trigger your Pluto. Right. It's going to square your Pluto. So it will definitely bring a change because Pluto is all about change. You follow?
Yes.
And if it's in the Virgo, which it is, if you haven't made a change by then with what you're unhappy with, well, it will trigger it and it will say, okay, it's definitely time to make a change.
Yeah. I had a Pluto for over my ascendant, so you know what that means.
Yeah. Well, this isn't, this is Uranus squaring your natal Pluto. Okay.
Yeah.
So what that means is there might be some shakeups and some surprises and disruptions because
Yeah.
that's what Uranus does.
Oh.
Can Uranus, like if we were to have Uranus and Pluto sit down at a table
Mm,
and have like an arm wrestling,
mm,
Pluto wins.
mm.
Pluto wins. You follow?
Yes.
Right. So just remember that. It's more of Uranus coming along to help you break free out of your rut. That's what Uranus was was created for. To if we're in a rut, it's to break us out of our rut.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
All right. So I hope this helps. And again, if you want, I'm here every Saturday. Well,
Yeah.
unless I'm on a private live, then I'm private. But I'm here every Saturday. If you want to look at something else, that's fine. Otherwise, you can just email me like you already did earlier.
Of course. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You you are welcome. I hope it helps.
Yes. Thank
All
you.
right. Good luck. Yep. Bye
Bye.
bye. All righty. Here we go. Current list. We got a current list. Look at that. And yeah, Lou's passing, Stacy's passing, Johnny D is here, Fairy there, Angela, Gibson, Christie's passing. I think Fairy there said I'm passing. Yeah, I'm probably looking at an old list. Sorry. Yep, Virgo is service. Yes. That's right. Holds the space for others. Good way of putting it. I know, right? A rager, fire and air, right? Yeah, busy mind is definitely very tricky. I don't know how to send stars. Wow, I don't know how to send stars either. I emailed birth details. Nunya. You call yourself Nunya? Come on now. Sun in the 12th. Ooh. Well, then you don't need a reading. You already know. Just giving you a hard time, Nunya. All right. So seriously, okay, if you sent your details, that is good. Yes. All right. I'm looking to see. Okay, Fairy there said she's passing. And is this list still is John D, are you here? It says you're next. Is John D here? Christy's like, hello. What's going on, Christy? Teamwork, you are welcome. Nunya, you're in the right place. If you already put your information in the email, we go in order that people appear in the chat. I'm sure you figured that out by now. Jess, what's going on, Jess? So is John D here? John D might have went to sleep. All right, I'm rolling along. Yeah, John D probably fell asleep. All right, who was after John D? Thank you, Christy, for doing this. Or I'm sorry, I said Christy. Thank you, Stacy, for writing this up. Fairy there said pass. Is Angela here? Angela might be gone already too. And then Gibson. All right, so Fairy there. So Angela, are you here? Gibson, are you here? Yeah, John D usually tells me John Dean normally emails me and is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I fell asleep." Don't worry about it. It's all good. I gotta fix this lighting. This is a nightmare. I don't know how to. If I can get this damn glare off the damn screen. Oh God, I hope it all doesn't just fall apart on me. All right, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so want to read? Yeah, whoever's next. Angela. Yeah, I already. Yeah, thank you, Stacy. Right. Um, Angela isn't here, obviously, so it goes to Gibson. All right, Gibson. Grayson's chart. Let's check it out. All right, let's get you the link. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Stacy, but I've yelled Angela's name out a couple of times. Angela's not here. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what's going on out there. Okay. Angela. Is Angela here? Going, gone. All right. Yeah, Angela probably. Did Angela get to say how she was doing? Anybody, by any chance? Okay, let me put this link in here for you. Gibson, here's your link if you want it. If not, don't worry about it. But that link is for Gibson. Oh, Gibson snatched that right up. Awesome. Let's get Gibson in here. Well, right. Yeah. If you're waiting for a reading, yeah. I mean, she knows how it works. She probably just stopped in to say hi. Hopefully, she got to say if she was doing okay. Okay, so let's get Gibson in here. I got to find that chart. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Oh, you sound nice and clear. Awesome.
Good.
I love it when I can hear people.
I know. It helps, doesn't it?
Hell yeah, and I'm sure it helps everybody else too. I'm sure they're like, "Yes."
I love it. Hello, everybody. It's nice to be here.
Yes. How are you? How have you been?
Good.
Did the headaches and all that crap finally pass?
They're come and go. I think it's also allergies and
Oh,
but
I'm so
it's
glad I don't have to deal with that shit.
yeah.
That would drive me nuts.
It's okay. It will pass once everything stops blooming.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that it's probably dry, huh?
Well, no, it's
Is it
rainy.
dry where you're?
Well, I get the same thing you get, kind of. I get it a little like a few
Well,
hours before you do, but these
I
with
mean,
storms.
it's been rainy, but in general, we're behind. Do you know what I'm saying? In general, we're behind on water. So it's like it's I would think that would affect the
Yeah.
pollen situation. I mean, I don't know because I never have to really pay attention to it, but
Yeah, and I forget. I think like, oh, it's just this, and then I get it. It lasts like a day, day and a half, and then I'm behind the 8 ball. But
oh
it's
well,
okay.
then that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. I've heard really bad stories where some people, it's just like I love my one of my housemates.
Yeah. It's
Oh
I'm
Lord.
understating, but it's it's okay.
Oh, I have Grace's chart. Look at that.
You do. Yes, it's been a
Oh, I
while.
found it. That's the whole thing. I have it and I found it and I'm like, yay,
Hallelujah.
great. Okay, so
Thank you. It's been a while. I've thank you for writing it up, and I'm excited for everyone to hear about. Now Grayson, people should know he's turned 2, and
I was just gonna say, remind me whose chart this is again. So
right,
Grayson's just turning 2.
turned 2 in like
Oh,
the end of January, and he is
oh,
Sam's. He's my youngest's child. It's the only
okay.
boy at this point, grandchild.
So,
And they've been going through like the custody battle. He's the one that's unwed. And
oh
Sam
Lord.
changed the law in the state of Ohio with the Supreme Court for unwed fathers not having rights.
Oh, really? Sam's case?
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here.
I know. He's a
Wow.
Scorpio.
There you go.
Yeah.
He didn't
It's
let
been
up.
hard. I mean, everyone told him to get married. And I was like, you can't marry. He was stalked, right? He was
Yeah.
stalked. And so um and he really is about like wanting to have a family, get married. And I was like, if you marry her and then you like to get your rights and then divorce her, what are you going to say to your like who's supposed to be your first wife?
Yeah.
You're devaluing.
Yeah.
And so he went with me, and we and every day we were working on it, and it still hasn't gone to court because they've been fighting over the venue. That was the other case he just won too, first time.
Wow.
So we got the venue in Cincinnati, and so it's he's not out to like do wrong for the mother at all.
Right.
He's just
He deserves rights as a dad.
yes, and he drives 14 hours every other weekend to see him for like a day. He goes, picks him up for takes 7 hours, brings him back,
Yeah.
and it's exhausting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And she didn't have to leave. He offered her a house, everything. He was paid for everything. He had a car, her school
Oh,
payments. He
man.
gave
So the
her,
child could be close enough.
yeah, he
Yeah.
gave her
Wow,
his
how
house.
shitty. I'm sorry, but
I
why would
know,
you wanna take yeah, oh my god. Now I could see if the baby's dad was no good,
right?
was abusive,
No,
was just a
right,
bad, father figure, like, that'd be different, like, "Get out of the state, run," but this isn't the
right.
case, right? Like,
No,
holy shit.
no, no.
Ah,
She just, right,
frustrating.
right. So it's not about who's wrong or right or anything.
Basically just to hurt the father,
Yes.
which
Yes.
we all know it's hurting
Right.
the child more than the father,
Right.
hello? Like, what the
Right.
hell?
Right.
God,
Right.
don't even think about your kid. Shit.
But you know what I find fascinating is, children can be so devalued and dehumanized, right? With just everything we
Mhm,
even see that's coming out today, these days.
mhm,
And one thing for sure is for my son Sam, this isn't about like, as I said, winning this case. This is why I wanted you to look at Grayson's chart. It's about he really does value. He sees his son
mhm.
as, obviously as a real human being, but the mother doesn't. He, she
Yeah.
she has him as collateral, and she's
Well,
like,
obviously not. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I'm excited. So this is no stress, but thank you so much for
Well,
um,
thank you.
showing
You're
doing
always so generous, even when you're not at the damn even
you
when this woman's
deserve
not
it.
in the star room, she's sending channel gifts, and I'm like, "Hello, what's this for?"
It's a show. It's like an event on Saturday night. It's like a bar cover. What do you call when you have to go into a bar or something for money? I forgot. The bouncing money or whatever. I don't know what
That
you
I
call it.
wouldn't know about.
I don't know. I don't either. I don't know what
You're
you
asking
call
the
it.
wrong person about that, that's for sure.
It's
Yeah, I
a
could make something
metaphor.
up.
I need to pay for my star night.
Well, I appreciate it. He has the same birthday as my mother.
See, this is meant to be.
She said, "See, this is meant to be January 22nd." Yeah, that's my
Mm-hmm.
mom. So it's just kind of fascinating because people with that birthday, anybody with that mid-birth, because Pluto, right?
Right.
Pluto. Pluto went over yeah, Pluto was here, right? When he was born, Pluto was here. But in the last year, we had Pluto right over on his sun.
Mm-hmm.
And so now Pluto's sitting still in his ninth house, which is really interesting
Right.
because
Courts.
there's like the whole legal battles and shit going on,
Correct.
right?
That's
And
why
you
I'm doing.
even mentioned the court case that got, the
Right.
laws got changed with his court case.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
It's on the
fascinating.
books. Yep. He's going to change. Other men will have rights now.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. And he's got Pluto there, but his
Mm-hmm.
sun is there. So, and sun, S-U-N, right? I know we
Mm-hmm.
use the word sun a lot. So Pluto's sitting, at 3 degrees now. So
Right.
that means that Pluto is sitting in his chart just on the other side of his sun, because his midheaven doesn't begin until 5 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So the way this chart's drawn, because I have so many glyphs, it looks like his sun is literally at the 5 degrees. But, there's 3 and 4 that are there, and
There.
Pluto's sitting in between, right?
Yeah.
His
Yep.
midheaven
You
and
blew
his
it up.
sun.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pluto's going to retrograde.
Mm-hmm. Well,
It's
see,
going to
that's what I'm
retrograde.
saying.
And
This
it's
is
going to go
also
back over
good.
his sun again.
Yeehaw. I feel sorry for everybody else with that Pluto might upset them retrograding, but it could be a good thing for us.
Well, when Pluto goes over my mom's sun, at least the couple of times that it's happened, and I'm sure it had a lot to do with the fact that, her Pluto in her chart was in Leo at the opposite end. But hers was at 0 or something really extreme. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but what I've noticed so far is when the Pluto and the sun when that energy gets mixed together, oh my God, you can't tell her a damn thing.
Good.
She's super feisty. She's in command. Literally, the word command. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like she gets very fired up. She's
Right.
very empowered. She, her energy, she's got more energy. She's more vibrant. It's really,
Mm-hmm.
it's added. Now
Mm-hmm.
there can be lots of other things going on in the chart too that of course play a role in that. But so far, it hasn't. Yeah, I noticed it's like, oh shit, it's Pluto and Leo
It's
right now.
coming. You
Jeez.
can feel it. You can feel it.
Yeah, so I just know, okay, mom, whatever you
Just have a
say,
snack ready. Get her
just
the ice
leave it
cream.
alone.
Get her snacks ready.
Yeah, well, God, I hope she got her snacks like she was. Anyway, yeah. I mean, anyway. So with this one, did you
I
have
love.
a question about his chart
No, I just
in
thought.
terms of that?
Well, we can do it with that if you want, but we could just read his chart first, and then we can another time. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
having
absolutely.
whatever you want
So,
to do, whatever you're inspired by. I don't feel. I
well,
don't feel.
this is what's kind of jumping out right now at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Is this? I know it's more Uranus and more Aquarius energy because this is the Uranus in Taurus, and it's at 14 degrees. And it's at the Taurus degree is what that means. So
Yeah.
values.
Mm-hmm.
And so disruptions and unique and different and maybe never been done before. Really fascinating because it's a retrograde, so it's extra strong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the 12th house.
Hidden.
So again, when we think 12th house, it's not just Neptune. We have to remember Jupiter. And so that the court stuff,
Right.
and even his node, look at his freaking node, 9 degrees, the Jupiter degree,
Mm-hmm.
the justice system, the courtrooms. Like there's a lot here. So in a way, I'm like, what is this kid going to do when he's older? Is he going to be involved in government, or at least like a lawyer? Or I mean, like, is he going to be involved in some way? Because his 9th house with Capricorn and Pluto there, I'm looking at this thinking,
Judge.
wow, definitely, possibly,
Mm-hmm. Supreme
definitely,
Court.
possibly, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's possible because you see, he's got the Pisces degree is strong in his chart too. He's got Saturn at 24 with his Venus at 24. They're conjunct together.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yeah. So it's like, God, the Pisces energy and the Jupiter and boss energy. But Uranus as well. Look at Neptune at the Uranus degree. So it's like, yeah, it's like it's not going to stop here. And the public, because his natal Jupiter is at 4. So that's more moon energy, mom energy, women, the public, the past, the history. Juno, you see that right next to his Jupiter? My freedom, my independence, my rights, my body autonomy. But again, the law comes up again because the law just is a very prevalent thing in this kid's chart.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. The rule of law.
Mm-hmm.
It's all this stuff in the top part. If you were to back it up and look at his chart, you see the majority of the planets
Yes.
the top of the chart, the profession, the
Yeah.
career, right? Working with the public, working on, the big stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly on the global stage, government, institutional energy, Pisces in the 11th, Aquarius in the 10th house, which is, I'm working to serve. I'm a humanitarian, which I love to
Mm-hmm.
see this here because his moon is here, his Venus, his Saturn. And then of course he's going to be, should be all about the people and people power. Right now, especially, I know it's all over the world. I don't watch, closely what's going on in other governments. Because the United States, there's a different news story breaking every 5 minutes. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
we see really good examples globally of how Aquarius energy and Pisces energy is being abused, right? Abuses of power,
Right.
people abusing their power because we have Pluto and Aquarius. So it's the rise of the authoritarians and the
Mm-hmm.
oligarchs, or someone said the brawligarchs, BRO, brawligarchs, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Because it's, the super elite wealthy who are directing traffic, directing how and what is right and fair and the rule of anyway. So it's insane. And having the moon here means that the people, that friends, that social concerns and causes and the public would be a big deal, and communication about those things. And the women, again, maybe homes and housing as well. He's got 15 degrees, so Mercury degree with the moon. So
Mm-hmm.
communication would be strong, very
Yeah.
strong.
Yes.
Um,
Actually a very good little speaker for 2 years old.
Already?
Oh,
Well,
phenomenal. It's yeah,
well,
like
look,
it's ridiculous.
yeah, when people, first of all, he has this combination. You see his Mercury also at 9 degrees. So he can communicate in a way, whether it's judge, but like an adult almost, because he's got Capricorn energy here. And this is his mind. So when our mind is with Capricorn, yeah, there can be some fear there for sure. But Mercury is the thoughts and the networking, and it can be very structured and organized.
Mm-hmm.
And because you can usually recognize it when you hear people who
Mm-hmm.
have like Capricorn energy mixed in with the Mercury or the Gemini energy,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
can almost hear their structured thoughts by the way they're speaking. For
Yes.
some of
Yeah.
us, we stumble with what's the next word going to be and how's it going to sound, the whole thing. But for people with that combination, you can almost recognize it because it's impressive. It's
Right. Right.
impressive.
Right. It has an energy to it. Yes.
Yes, it absolutely does. And it's like, damn, I wish I could do that,
Yeah.
And they speak usually in a very practical, mundane way. That's the
Mm.
other great thing about them, is that they usually are easy to understand.
Yes.
Now, with him, he does have Jupiter. He's got that 9 degrees, which can signify abstract communication as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the abstract is where a lot of people get lost when people communicate in abstract ways. But whatever. We'll see what happens. He's young.
I'll let you know.
Um, yeah, and again, that just comes down to education and the people that he's around. And if he's hanging around a lot of adults, well, then you got kids who end up just communicating with a lot of adults. But that's a big influence too for
Right.
little ones.
Right.
Um, oh my God, he's got the Fortuna at 29 degrees. Your family in the 29 degrees, man.
I know.
For real. Holy shit. So he's got Fortuna 29. Normally, yeah, it's an extreme degree. 29 degree also does come with quite a bit of experience because it's
Yes.
got all the previous degrees. So there is usually some experience, some say wisdom there with it. And it's in Scorpio. So it's shared interests, money, values. there's also a lot of energy with the past and history, and that's his relationship energy. So the Fortuna means that things can sway, fortunes can swing high and low, right? Within partnerships,
Mm-hmm.
so they can be,
Well,
they can
and
swing high and low. Yeah,
that's the story so far.
yeah, it sure
I mean,
seems like
look
it,
at him
doesn't it?
from, he from the very, very good living conditions to living with, the mother in the mother's parents' house. And I mean,
Oh, mom was living with her.
she's
Oh my
living with
god,
the
so she had, okay,
and
got
then,
it.
oh my God, and the brother lives there too, older brother. And he came, I mean, he's threatened Jack, Sam with a gun. And
What?
I mean, it's crazy.
He threatened him? He threatened the
Yeah.
child's father?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Not good.
well, yeah.
And Sam, I mean, Sam's, 6'4", good looking, but he's a nice guy. I mean, this is, yeah,
Like a gun wasn't necessary.
not necessary.
Well, here's something I want to show you. He has a Jupiter and Neptune midpoint. I don't know if we've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yes.
have?
Midpoints, but we haven't read Grayson's one, but I've
Well, this is Jupiter and Neptune together. And you see the degree they're at?
24.
28.
Oh,
It's 28, right?
mm-hmm.
Yep, at 28. And so that means that is a nice trine to his 29 degree. You see that?
Yes.
Well, the Jupiter and the Neptune, you
The
think
first.
about institutional energy in the court systems, you think about the law, you think about, there's just um a lot of support when you've got trine energy like that. But again, it trines the fortune, you
Yes.
know, the whether you call it luck or literally your money in the
Well,
bank.
right. Right. I mean, you're right.
Fortune swing high
Mhm.
and can swing high and low, but there's a trine to that. To me, because it's Jupiter and a Neptune, it provides some protection because Jupiter is his greater benefic. That's where I'm going with this.
Thank God. Yes. Yes. I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's where I'm going with this. And of course, the family protection is very big
Yeah. Hmm.
because he's got Jupiter at 4 degrees and Juno is right there. Family is the 4 degrees, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And
And it's fascinating because it would be Mars energy because it's Aries energy.
yes.
Um, so there's like a fight. Hold on, let me
Yeah.
get this cat. One second.
Yes.
These kitty cats. Was that you knocking?
Hmm.
Was that you knocking at the door?
Zoe.
I
Zoe.
think
Zoe.
it's Taffy.
Zoe. Oh,
Yeah,
Taffy.
it's Taffy. It's Taffy.
Hey, Taff. Watch out for
Are
the
you
paper.
coming? If you're coming up, come on.
Don't play with the paper.
Oh yeah, thank you for telling me that. Crap, I totally forgot. Okay, that is not a cat toy. Come on. It's not Zoe. She would be chowing on it and ripping it. So the protection and the fight and Jupiter, his greater benefic, because the sun is right there above the horizon line.
Yes.
Yep. It also means that Mars is his greater malefic. Mars, which is in his first house. Hold on, I got to get this kitty cat situated so I can get my arm over here. So
Yes.
here's his Mars.
Yeah. Don't forget to scratch Taffy.
I know. Otherwise, she will just start ripping shit up on me. So there's his Mars. And wow, does this tell a lot?
Tell me.
So here it is, Mars at 8 degrees.
Scorpio.
Yep. There's history involved.
What is that? Yeah. Explain that.
Well, I'm going to. There's history involved. because it's the 8 degrees. So it's the wounds of the past, my vulnerabilities, right? There
Mm,
could be something with learning.
mm-hmm.
Maybe, there's sibling energy, but communicate. Hello, did you see? Did you see? She's ripping the shit out of my stuff.
Happy.
Um, and it could also be not so much just communication, but thoughts about, like when this one's older,
Mm-hmm.
thoughts about the past.
Well, right. You mean not like past life, but when he was little.
No, I'm talking, well, there can be stuff there, of course, because it's Scorpio energy. So there can be that added to this.
Right. I mean,
That
that's the
can be
one
part of it
thing
too.
I told Sam was that every move, everything he does, whatever choice he makes,
Yeah.
he needs to be able to have zero regret. That he
Right.
shares the story as, well, being I don't want to say a real man, but like being a good father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, there's, this can be like verbal battles,
Yeah.
verbal power, because we think of intense power, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because
Opinion.
Gemini is, the communication style.
Mm-hmm.
And like the last chart, right? Lady, she had 0 degrees Mars in Gemini, very assertive communication
Right.
style.
Yes.
Now, this is in his first house, so he may look like he's, his communication style, even there might be something about his communication that is a little strong.
It's forthright.
There could be.
It's very
Could be
forthright.
very assertive.
Yes.
Um, and there might be something, like I said, even if it's not the way he's actually communicating, he can look like
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word pit bull, but like where
Oh,
you look and it's like, okay, that person looks fierce. There could
yes.
be something that looks like that's not going to be someone who backs down. I don't know if I want to do that, right? This person
Correct.
doesn't look like they're going to back down
Right.
because
Right.
it's got to do with the appearance.
Yes.
Yeah. And this could also have to do with, I mentioned learning, but someone who looks like I don't know, maybe this is a child who will grow up and who's, you know, just voracious with learning, right? Or writing even, or a keyboard warrior type of thing, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
they look like that's the person they would be like, because it's the
Like a law school
deception.
professor.
That too. The deception with the first house is it's our appearance. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily who we are.
Interesting.
Although until we recognize some of the strong energy, we might absolutely kind of make it like a self-fulfilled prophecy type thing where we're living out the energy. And so we present it. We present ourselves as this aggressive, assertive person until we kind of recognize that that's how we come off.
Right.
Because Gemini can be tricky. There's a strong duality with Gemini energy. So it can be tricky for a person to recognize that about their own Gemini energy,
Mm-hmm. I can see
for
that.
all Gemini energy,
Yeah.
But it's fascinating that he also has his part of fortune sitting here at 8 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So his part of fortune talks about his part of fortune being triggered by his Mars, by his communications even.
Yes.
Yeah. Now this also signifies someone who probably talks with their hands as well, right? Because
Yes.
actively speaking, maybe someone who ends up like being able to sign language and like whatever the hell, like all that finger and hand movements, or
Mm-hmm.
just talking with being a person who talks with their hands
Mm-hmm.
naturally, not when we see people who, what is that paper? She's got paper hanging out of her mouth. I see the evidence.
Taffy. What paper? No paper. That's not paper. No paper. No paper.
Yeah. I saw what you did.
Mm-hmm.
So, that energy, wow. So that sends a sextile to to the fourth house cusp line, because that's Leo energy.
All
And
right.
Leo and Gemini are sextiling each other. And so this is at 5 degrees right here, his fourth house cusp. So having Leo in the fourth
Mm-hmm.
is creative energy, really creative at home, trying to find ways that he can be creative in the home and having fun and playing games and just having a good time and feeling like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
For him to be able to feel like a kid and have a good time. This would be important. This is Leo energy is our happy place.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's our happy place. So for him, connecting the Mars and the part of, and we'll stick with the Mars for right now because the other thing, well, yeah.
I got
The part of, I keep wanting to say the part of fortune. I don't know why it keeps wanting to come out.
Well, we don't have to go any further. You might be getting like tired.
Well,
We don't have to you don't have to push hard. We can, it's all good.
I hear what you're saying, but like I said, oh, maybe it's the 8 degrees over there. Yeah, maybe that's why too. No, sometimes it just like keeps forcing itself out. And I'm like, why does this keep coming up? So we got 8 over here and 9 is the south node. Okay, so maybe that's what it was. This is a quincunx. So this could be some uncomfortable stuff. Oh, again, dealing with the past. You see it?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking.
Yeah. So I'll put a black line there because that's a quincunx. That's the Mars energy and that part of fortune. And it creates a quincunx with his superpower, his south node, which is at 9 degrees again. So whenever we see 9, and I talked about Jupiter and the law, that 9 is also my belief system.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of the kind of start that he had in childhood,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of that shapes his beliefs, his foundational belief system. Absolutely. So, that'll just be something for him to have to navigate, like we all have to navigate our childhood once we're adults.
Correct.
Hey, hello, stop. Come here. So that superpower at 9, it brings up the beliefs and the wounds of the past. And the optimism. 9 degrees is also very optimistic.
Yes, it is.
Very optimistic. But Scorpio represents a healing of some sort, a release, a let go, and a healing of that past and of those vulnerabilities and those wounds. So the quincunx to that Mars energy and that aggressive communication style, he might find out that as an adult, many times we pick up traits, even though they aren't the traits we want to pick up. We end up as adults, we find out, oh my God, I'm saying things just like my mom or my dad used to, things I hated as a child that I wish they'd never said.
Right.
And it's almost like it's just in our genes, in our blood, and these things just come spilling out.
Correct.
So there might be a little bit of that because the truth is, the different locations when he's not under Sam's care, whoever he is around, that's part of this too.
I agree.
And so these are things that he'll just have to work through and process.
Right.
And, that connection with that part of fortune and the healing, something with the healing and health because it's in his 6th house. But work too, in day-to-day routines. It's all connected.
Interesting.
So it'll be really interesting to see like what he grows up to do with this kind of energy.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting for sure.
Well, we all want him to grow up in Cincinnati. I don't know. Nothing against Toledo, but there's so much to offer in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a big difference too. There's just more.
Yes.
More opportunities.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the time, for putting the chart together. Thank you for sharing with everybody his chart. And
you are welcome.
I will keep you updated, not month, yearly. And thank you. And love to everybody.
Thank you.
Stay off the paper. And I love you guys.
And thank you for your generosity. Again, appreciate it.
You deserve double, triple. Thanks. Mwah.
You have a good night. Have a good weekend. All right. Thank you.
Happy early. Bye.
Yep. All right. At 11:12, Christy says, I had the best week ever. Okay. Stacy, oh goodness. Okay. So I don't know where. All right. Who is after Gibson? I know there was a couple of names. Maybe not. Yeah. John D. definitely No idea what happened to it. Yeah. Oh, Lou S, you're right. That's probably what she was looking for. Cover. That's probably what she, that's probably what she was that is probably what she was referring to. Okay, so here's the list. Christy, here's the updated list. We got Christy who's passing, and then we got Nunya, and then Jess. Yeah. All righty. Well, I'm glad to hear you had a good week, Christy. Boy, Taffy, you're getting awfully close to my candle. You're getting awfully close to the candle. Okay, so is Nunya here? Nunya, are you here, Nunya? Let me check something on my phone. You know, uh, oh. Okay. All right, Gibson, I see what you did. I see what you did, Gibson. I got that. Okay. All right. And I will be sending you the link for those who, yep, you get a link. 3 problems all solved in 1 week. Sweet. That's nice. I am glad to hear that. Okay, so Nunya going once, going twice. Nunya. I don't think Nunya's here. People come, people don't want to wait. I mean, I get it. And sometimes I got a chart that I spend a little bit more time on. Yeah, it's really not okay. Got it. Okay, got that. And ooh. Okay. So Nunya, I do see your email, but you must not be here anymore. You must have said I'm done. All right. Right? Nunya's not here. Okay, so then it's Jess. Yeah, not a problem. Yep, no problem. Oh, your voice is gone. Well, I hope that means that you were screaming your ass off at a protest. Nunya is here? Oh, Nunya, did you just wake up? I understand. All right, so Nunya, your chart, you were next in line. We were just about to go to the next person. I really thought you were gone. Nunya said, I'm here. All right. All right, let's get Nunya's chart. We got to draw this up real quick like here. All righty. All right. Have you seen your chart before? And do you know your rising sign? Because I'm gonna need some confirmation that sometimes the software plays games. Sometimes I spell something wrong, you know. I just know that I've learned the long hard way to not read a chart until I have confirmation because boy, how do you pronounce that? Thibodeau? D. Louisiana. All right. Let me see if I spelled that right. Holy crap, I think I spelled it right. Wow. Every now and then I spell something right the first time. All right, so this chart that this software has given me is Cancer on the ascendant at 7 degrees. Is that you? Cancer ascendant, Cancer sun sign in the 12th. We got that. We got you got a water. Whoa, you got a lot of water. You got a strong kite in your chart too. So you got a Pisces moon at 7 degrees. You got a watery midheaven. Dang. Wow. Seriously. Your Jupiter and your Mercury together. If this is your chart, well, let me see what you have to say if this is your chart. Got to keep this cat's whiskers out of the flames. Otherwise, I'll be sleeping on the lawn. So, Nunya, did you hear anything I just said? I'm looking for some confirmation on your chart. And the confirmation I need is, are you a Cancer rising at 7 degrees? Are you a Pisces sun at 7 degrees? That's what this chart is showing me. Your moon trines your ascendant, both at 7. Yeah. Jupiter in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer. You've got some interesting stuff here. But yeah, you got a huge kite, and the tip of that kite is in the 11th house, if this is your chart. Yeah, this is correct. Let's go back and check. Pisces moon. Yeah, Pisces moon at 7. That's right. Okay, so you don't know the degrees. Not a problem. We're pulling this chart up. We'll just leave it at that. I'll just work with this, and we're like, this is good. So let's take a peek at this chart. Just give me a minute. This software wants to play games sometimes. Like it doesn't respond. Come on now, you can do it. We can do it. Taffy, you're doing really good. I haven't had to go crazy on you. Okay, let's get this chart on here. Woohoo! Look at that. Look at this chart. I mean, Pisces moon at 7 degrees in the 9th house. You have Pisces in the house of Jupiter. And your moon is there. Well, something interesting is like equality and fairness and freedom and the law. Comes up with that 7 degrees. Business partnerships, lawyer energy comes up with that 7 degrees. That midheaven with Pisces too. Usually it's a really creative energy, but super unique at that 23 degrees, different, independent. But this can be institutional energy, working for government, hospitals, healing institutions, prisons. Like it can be that, but it can also be the entertainer, public figure, Hollywood, politicians, musicians. It can be that as well. But again, that moon, family and home and the past and history and mom energy. Yeah, the past is strong because it's with Pisces, and because this is like a Jupiter connection, it kind of expands upon something and adds to it. So the beliefs about connected to the past, but also to the future, the ancestry in the past, and partnerships, significant one-on-one relationships. This can be professional and personal. 9 degrees, your belief about those things, your belief about those things. This is also the house of religion and spirituality too. And, you know, Pisces kind of has definitely has a spiritual vibe to it for sure. Sacrifice, global service type of thing, surrender, peace, unity, oneness, nature. This is all Pisces stuff. So needing some time and solitude with whether it's music and movies or sleep and rest, but that will help restore the emotions because you have a Pisces moon. Very, very sensitive moon are Pisces moons. They have to be very careful with their energy in terms of who they're around. Because it's the sponge. You know, Pisces is the sponge. But the moon energy can make us energetically intuitive. I mean, Pisces and the moon are both those things, but that's why it's difficult with a Pisces moon. It can be tricky. Now, your moon trines your ascendant, your appearance, and your physical body. So again, you got the 7 degrees there. So fair, balanced, peace, harmony, very creative energy as well. Because again, 7 degrees is Venus. So she can be really creative when she's in the water sign type of energy. And you've got her in multiple ways. And there is your very intuitive and also very sensitive 12th house sun. Another reason why you would need solitude and alone time. This is your energy, literally recharging your battery. You're going to need to have alone time. So because it's in Cancer, your Cancer energy is also a sponge. So do you need time away from family even? Right? There might be higher sensitivities connected with this. But again, when you have a lot of energy in the 12th, you know, having your sun there, and when I say 12th, I'm also talking about Pisces energy, which that's where I started. So when we have that, like there are things that we just know, right? Sometimes there are things that we know that we have no business knowing. And if we do know some of these things, we have no business speaking them. That's just the reality of 12th house energy. There's a connection to karmic energy and history and soul's energy, soul's memory that we have. So you have some strong connections in that way. Now, you also have an abundance, again, of water. I mentioned the Jupiter and the Mercury multiple times. Cancer energy is the history in the past. And look, you got 29 degrees here. Now, this is, you know, often talked about as the millionaire degree. And you have it on your second house, cusp line. Yeah. Like, let's see what else is talking to that 29 degrees there. That's what they say, 29 degrees Cancer, because it's dealing with the public. You got a midpoint at 29 degrees in Leo as well. And Jupiter is your greater benefic, can be your protection, your support system. And yours is the ancestry, the past, the history, mom energy, the public. It's in your first house, right? So it has to do with your appearance, communication style, but possibly learning, teaching, but speaking and Jupiter, they're really close. This connection is strong. This can be lawyer energy, right? Since we're on the lawyer kick, we'll just mention it, but also a spiritual teacher, spiritual guru. And you may just look like that person. You may look like somebody who are all these things, and it may not actually be who you are because it's the first house. It's just the cover of the book. It does not mean it's who that person is. But when I see a 29 degrees on the second house cusp line, which means you have a 29 degrees on the 8th house cusp line, this is like I'm an insurance CEO type of energy. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Like people, yeah, 8th house, taxes, insurance, all 8th house stuff. You've got authority figure energy a whole lot of ways around in this chart. Capricorn, big boss, corporations. Yeah, big time. You've got a really strong, like big boss energy. Now, is this the big boss? Is this the millionaire or the trillionaire, right? Present. Here's the thing we got to pay attention to. What squares? Is there a square? Is there a trine to this person's millionaire degree, right? So we're going to go to the cardinal energy in the chart. 28 degrees in Libra, 5th house cusp line, children, fun, joy, creativity, romance, partnerships. That's a pretty strong square to that. That angles it. That creates stress and tension. Now, does that mean that this person couldn't have the wealth? No, it just means they'd have to work for it because it creates stress and tension. Now, what do we see over here in cardinal? There's actually kind of a lot here. There's not just a house cusp line, but we also have somebody who's a witness to others who are in pain. We got Chericlo sitting right there, the wife of Chiron, feminine energy, along with the 11th house cusp line at 28. This is that fight energy. That's Mars. It can get angry. It can get combative. But Mars is your, oh, hold on a minute. Sorry about that. I don't know what, okay, hold on. Software is doing whatever it wants to do right now. Okay, there we go. Got that back. The angle to the second house cusp line of my values, my love, my income, and my money, the stress and the tension, you get it two ways from that part of the chart, which is friends and group energy. Being the leader, you have history with that. You have, there's a knowledge there. You've got group energy in the 11th house of friends, and you've got, Aries energy. These people can be soldiers, can be fighters, but an adult Mars, like a grown-up Mars, is done fighting, has put away the weapons. An adult Mars is like a spiritual leader. Yeah. So there is some stress and tension because that creates a really big, great, you're fine. That's a good spot. This is a good spot. You can stay here. She's like, but you're not rubbing me. I know, I'm using my hands to move this chart and stuff around. This creates this great cross in your chart, great square, a cardinal square in the chart. But in that same 11th house, hello, that's my hair. You don't get to eat that. In that same 11th house is the top, is the pinnacle of your kite. I'm sure you can see the kite. It's that big blue triangle that's really strong. You have so much water energy. You have a huge grand water trine in your chart, which is a huge benefit. It can be a benefit, but can also it can also be difficult to deal with because anytime we have a lot of water, it's all about the past. It's all about the history. And there is a lot with the past and the history, not just because of all your water. Also, your Venus carries the history with her and the wounds of the past in terms of values, maybe income and money, self-worth, and love even. Romantic partnerships, there might be some wounds with that. You have a Venus these are the kind of Venuses that, even though she's really fun and optimistic, this is where the romantic department here, second house, right? My desire energy. It is boss energy, very risk-taking, right? Can be very courageous in that way. But it can also be a Venus that might still carry around not grudges, but grudge is the wrong word. It's more of just carrying around stuff from the past and having to do with values and love and possibly money. Okay, so that can kind of be difficult, especially when we're not aware of it. It can be really difficult because you already have a chart that carries so much history. So like when you meet people, especially romantic people, like people you're romantically interested in, because you got freaking Scorpio in the 5th house. Hello. Yeah, this again, mating, dating, relating, romance, children, fun, joy, creativity, a lot of history, a lot of tragedy, a lot of trauma, even if you don't have a recall like necessarily from the current reality that you're in, we'll put it like that. This is like that soul memory stuff. So it brings some of that past with it. So on top of the lifetime we're living, right? On top of the current relationships we're in, there's also some hurts and wounds from the past. And so all this extra water brings all this stuff, adds to it. And that is hard to navigate because then we're like, okay, what am I upset about? Why is this so damn intense? Why is this so strong? But here's your answer to what you're supposed to do with all of it. Let me change that color out a little bit. And I'm just telling you what's coming through. So that's the way we're rolling with this one. Your kite runs at the top like this. I'll just outline it real quick in the green. The beauty of the kite is it takes this trine that you have, this really strong water trine, it takes it and it gives it a direction to flow, which is really nice because it focuses the energy for you. And whenever people have kites, it is a real blessing to have this because I met lots of folks who have trines and that energy just kind of it sits there untapped. It doesn't get utilized. When you have a kite, yours is getting utilized and it's getting utilized with Taurus energy, money and values. Now, I would love to say that in your chart, because it's in the 11th house, I hope it would be great if this energy was being used for humanitarian purposes, because this is Earth energy. This would be the planet. This would be doing something that is good for the planet, for the animals, for the people. Like everything is one. There's no escaping. There's no cutting it and dividing it up. Like this is it. So you have, 5 degrees, it looks like. Yeah, you got a lot there. 5, 5, 5, 8. You got a lot at the mid. Yeah, right there. Children, fun, joy, romance, creativity. Wow, a lot of creative energy. So whether it's physical children, whether it's your creations, whatever it is, all of it comes pouring out through here. It's unique and different. So if you are creating and if you are an artist of any kind, whether who the hell knows, whether it's music, theater, whatever it's putting something on canvas or words, lyrics, playing an instrument, whatever your muse is, whatever your creative thing is, you have a strong trine that supports an outlet through this 11th house, which is when it comes to artistry, being unique is an asset, a big asset. So with this 11th house, this is also your group energy, friends, social circles, but different and unique and exciting. You got Taurus energy up there. 3rd house cusp line, you've got Saturn. This is the mind. This is the communication. Saturn can slow learning. It can limit things. 3rd house, the mind. School. Communicating, talking. But again, you have the Pisces degree, another creative degree with Leo, another creative sign. on the third house cusp line. So something really unique about the way you communicate and create and express. Really unique forms of communicating. Pluto, Aquarius energy, the 8th house. Yeah, this is what you're going through right now. So this is what I just heard. So Pluto is sitting here for you in your 8th house. Now, I realize that this isn't new for you, okay? Because you have Pluto in Capricorn at 29. But it's going to be going through your 8th house. And when Pluto goes through, Pluto is home to the 8th house. Pluto rules the 8th house. So this is, again, the wounds of the past, the trauma, the tragedy, the vulnerabilities. So it can provide a change. And ultimately, Pluto wants to heal. Pluto wants to bring a healing. So things about group energy and friends, but possibly a father figure or an authority figure, wounds from the past, the traumas, the tragedies, the vulnerabilities. You've got Juno there. And so it's going to be, 20 years. 20 years roughly. Well, it's a little bit less than that actually now, but anyway, you get where I'm going. Pluto changing and transforming those wounds, changing and transforming the past, changing and transforming shared assets. Yeah. And the group energy within that location for you. Yeah, hopefully, like I said, I hope you're doing something really awesome. Really awesome. Just for people in general, for the planet, and just something that's hopefully beneficial and helpful. I imagine with Pisces in the 9th, you kind of got to do that. Okay, that's Taffy. Yeah. I gotta get this kitty cat. All right, so you can come back next week. We're here every weekend. And yeah, we'll take a look again if you want to look a little bit further or talk about something else. But for right now, I'm going to go get this kitty cat. And we will move on. I hope that was interesting. Okay, so let me get this cat out of the room because she is acting like she's just got a... Oh, trying to work on it. Oh, social reform. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Publisher. There you go. Jupiter, 9th house. Good. Yes. I saw he said communication is a bit harsh. Well, he has Mars in his 3rd house. I didn't even get to the Mars. There was just so many other things. He has Mars in his 3rd house. Or she, I'm sorry. I just said he. It could be a she. Or whatever. Yeah, Mars in the 3rd house. Mars in Virgo. Harsh, but critical as well. The harsh would probably, well, thank God you have Pisces degree on that 3rd house cusp line. That's a blessing. But Saturn, yeah. Saturn is boss energy. So Saturn in Leo is like, I'm the boss, damn it. It's like a compounded boss energy. It's an extra dose of boss energy. So it can be much. It can be much. It absolutely can be a little bit much. Nunya. That was a very interesting chart. And Jess said, I'm still here. All right, Jess, let me see if I can get your chart up here real quick while we're... All right, let me get you in here. Well, I got 10 minutes left. So let's go find Jess. I'm looking. Where's Jess? There it is. Let me get this on here. Let me make sure this is you, Jess. You Aries ascendant, 16 degrees. Alrighty. Did Jess say if that was her chart, 16 degrees Aries rising? Let me see my phone. Maybe that'll help me out. All right, Jesse said yeah. All righty. Let's scoot this over. Let's see if we can see, if I can see. Jess said anything interesting. Well, Jess, your chart just by itself, look at that. I mean, just looking at the lines and the concentration of energy. It's like where the lines are. Well, that's where the lines are. You follow? Yeah. All right. So Jess, yeah, we've looked at your chart before. Okay, so the nodes aren't at 26 yet. They're still sitting at 27. Man, they've been at 27 for months now. Really working the mind, aren't they? Yeah. Communication, social media, networking. I mean, man, just really working it. So what's jumping out, Jess? Let me see here. All right, Pluto isn't going to touch your Saturn, not now. Pluto's going to go do a retrograde. So that's not going to be touching your Saturn. You see your Saturn's right there at 5 degrees, 10th house. Yeah, Pluto's at 3, but it won't be touching that Saturn. Not until 2026. Yeah. Saturn is our work. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jess, isn't that what we looked at before for you? Like you were ready for a change or something? I can't remember, but maybe I'm wrong, or maybe you've already made that switch, but I feel like that's what you... Okay, so Mars at 27. Mars is on your Chiron. Is that right? Yeah, you got a Chiron at 27. So the node, you got the North Node trining your Chiron right now. Node at 27. You would already have felt this. It's the North Node, so it's talking about the future. But for you, because you have the North Node in your 12th, right? You got Pisces and Aries. It's more about the dreams of the future. So maybe nothing's changed yet for you like you want. But even Mars is here. You see the 27 keeps coming up, right? You got Mars sitting on your Chiron while the North Node is trining your Chiron. Wow. And then, of course, the sextile. The South Node is in your 6th house of releasing something to do with your day-to-day routines. Virgo, health, right? The schedule, the planning, cleanliness. Again, domestic pets can be involved, service, healthcare. Yeah, again, something with the minutia, the details, the mind, the scheduling. It's the Virgo. It's the really important things. We think of a lot of the folks who lost work, whether it was people being booted out of the country, like essential workers being booted out of the country, being chased out because they were undocumented, to people who are, clerical work, who handle details and paperwork. We think of the minutia and the detailed paperwork for people who worked for the government, right? Just a lot of Virgo energy that's been kind of like whoosh, just gone. So the South Node is sitting on Humea, your Humea. Your Humea is at 27 degrees. So the 27 is the mind, and it's what I'm thinking about, right? Something to do with the job, possibly in your work. And of course, this Mars is sextiling it, which is exactly probably why you're here tonight. Mars triggered it. And it's like, okay, what the hell? So 27 can also be emails and communication and coworkers, peers, friends. So maybe there's been something going on. But the South Node on the Humea, I want to read this Humea for you, because your Humea is at 2701, and yeah, South Node's on it. But Mars is also, there's just a lot. So it's the 6th house. So it's connected definitely to your health, your daily routines, and your health. There can be, Virgo wants perfection sometimes and can go a little overboard. So we always got to remember that. But the Hawaiian goddess Humea, that's what that symbol is. Hawaiian goddess. She's fertility and childbirth, the mother of the fire goddess Pele. It's about the unity of opposites and seeking the larger order in apparent randomness. There's a drive towards peace and harmony. Humea can rejuvenate and it brings forth a feminine, healing, and creative energy. That's Humea. Okay, let's see what else you wanted to see, or whatever pops up into the radar. Okay, here's the radar. Jupiter. Jupiter is now at 18 degrees. It was at 17. It's brand new. Brand new at 18 degrees. So Jupiter was sitting on your 3rd house cusp line. It sat at 17 for a month or two. The mind, lots of communication, lots of thoughts, lots of thinking. And now as it's going through your 3rd house, again, siblings, it's just more mind energy, damn it. More mind energy. Yeah. Okay, Pallas Athena's right here. Got it. Okay, so the Pallas Athena creates a little stress and tension. All righty. Okay, what else do you got going on that might create a little something? Right now, tonight, the moon, of course, in your 7th house. You had a full moon right there on your Sirius, on how you feel nurtured. Relationships, significant one-on-one relationships. It's Sirius. Some say that Sirius energy is similar to mom energy, because it's being nurtured. It's a mother's ability to feed her child, and the mother in her ability to breastfeed. So there's something there with lunar energy even, and moon energy. And so then we think the past even. And you had a full moon on that. You see that? Sirius is there. And equality and fairness and significant one-on-one relationships. Again, personal and professional. So at the opposite end of that was this, but we had Chiron and the moon. I'm sorry, Chiron and the sun together. So it puts a focus on wounds of the past. You don't have anything, there wasn't anything at 23 in Aries energy for you. But if I get rid of this, it's moving really slow. Sorry. Like everything is very labored. Yeah, right there. That was your Sirius. So the security, feeling nurtured, is the relationships, the significant one-on-one relationships. So there was a full moon there. So a release of some sort. And possibly because it's Sirius, there just might be some, I don't know, there could be some reflection. Maybe it has to do with mom. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it has to do with family members. Maybe it has to do with the significant, because family members can also fill up the blanks in the 7th house for a lot of folks. I see it happen all the time. It doesn't have to just be like a romantic partner. I mean, in this case, it's Libra. It could be the law. It can be a lawyer. You know what I mean? Anything where you're like one-on-one with. Because I mentioned the professional energy. So, yeah. Then that means like marriages come up when we look at stuff like that. Your sun is at 5 in Cancer, and okay. Yeah, I was like, it was popping in my brain. Again, this stuff about the past. Your sun in Cancer at 5 degrees. Right now, Black Moon Lilith is in Scorpio at 2 degrees. And then Humaya, you see this? The Humaya up in the sky is at 2 degrees with your Black Moon Lilith. Do you see this shit? Yeah. So that's significant. This is significant because I just brought up the Humaya here, right? So it's connected. Wherever the transits are up in the sky, we connect them to where our planets are in our chart. And the connection for you would be, maybe it has to do with work. Maybe it connects in relationship energy. Maybe the past, of course, because it's Scorpio and Black Moon Lilith. But affecting the health possibly even. But your sun as well. Your sun's here at 5, and you have Cheroklo at 2. You have Cheroklo at 2. So, yeah, there's something that's coming through strong, because your sun and your Cheroklo and the history and the past and the Cancer, the emotions, the feeling, there might be a feeling of I mean, I don't know. I heard the word neediness really loudly, so whatever that means for you, whatever way. But mom energy and family. Yeah, that seems to be coming through strong. Cheroklo is the person who's just there for others who are going through something. I often refer to her as the witness. I will also add that right now we have the vertex point at 10 degrees in Pisces. And it's in Pisces. Yeah, the intuitions, the past, karmic energy even. But the vertex moves really fast. And which means that it's connecting with your Vesta, and your 4th house cusp line is 10 degrees of Cancer. So you kind of have, I don't know, there's just some stuff popping in, that there's families just popping up. I'll just leave it at that. Whether it's ancestry, but 10 degrees, it's 10 degrees here, 10 degrees here. dad energy even, because your sun is at 10. So yeah, dad energy popping up. There can just be some difficult stuff that when the moon moves, when it gets out of your 7th house, and when some of these other things move, hopefully things feel differently. And I don't even know if you're here because things are difficult, but whenever we have all this stuff in Pisces, and it's not just in Pisces, but it's Pisces in your 12th house, this is a sensitive time, and we're recommended to usually just rest and take care of ourselves, get plenty of sleep, and be kind to ourselves. That's just the bottom line. Mercury and Venus. And the Mercury, that's 2. Mercury's at 28 degrees. That's also the damn past. That brings up the past as well. So whatever you're going through, Mercury's going to move fast. Pretty soon it's going to be conjunct Neptune, and it gets into lighthearted, fun, adventurous, impulsive, go-getter energy Aries. Yeah. Youthful, always ready for the next rumble Aries. So whatever it is, hopefully, yeah. All right, guys, we are at midnight. Jess, I hope that helped in some way. Yeah. Or hopefully it gave you a little insight. Maybe it made sense for some things for you. I don't know, but the 12th house stuff is difficult. It can be tricky. And we have a lot of, especially in your chart, there was just so much moon energy. Yeah, we got to see new charts tonight. That's always a welcome. That's always a welcome. Jess says, what's concerning? Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't reading the chat. So, yeah, you can always come back next week. Mostly just been really stuck in getting over craziness. Oh, shit. A big lawsuit coming up. They gave us dates just here recently. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I didn't even see that, and I started reading. Well, that's how it works. So, yep, just come back next week. We will be here. The following week, it's private lives. So you're going to kind of have to plan accordingly. The last Saturday of every month is private lives. And for anybody who didn't hear earlier or who's not aware of it, the private lives are limited seating. So far, my plan is, because the 26th will be the first one I'm doing. So far, the plan is to kind of keep the format, at least for right now, the same. It's just, it'll be private. It won't be on the channel. And we'll be tweaking it as we go along, but it's definitely a much more intimate type of atmosphere, because it's not just anybody can get in. You have to have your chart set up ahead of time. People aren't just going to roll in where I'm creating. No, it's limited. So there is a channel, a minimum gift to the channel that is required to get in on it and to get a seat, because I want to keep the numbers small. So you email below, go under to the details. You can check out the email and communicate with me to get a seat in the next one. The one for the 26th is already filled up. So yeah, we'll be back next week. All right. I think we're all done. We are all done. Thank you, everybody who sent gifts to the channel, who came, who recommended or got recommended by other people. For those of you who shared out and who recommended, thank you so much. The shares help the channel immensely. Immensely. So that's it. Yes, happy we got to see the new charts. and excited for the private lives. I have some ideas, but we're just going to start off slow and work our way through it and see what works in that. We'll see what happens. I'm open to making changes because I am always willing to. I just look at it as creating, constantly experimenting and recreating. I really, and I like to always trying to be improving. That's always been like a damn Virgo thing with me. How can I make this better? How can I make this better? So yeah, that's just the wiggle room that's required. All right, guys. Thank you, Stacy, for doing what you do. Greatly appreciate it. Helps me to stay sane. And that's the other reason too. The private lives, it won't be helter-skelter. I'll know exactly who's going to be present because it's already been set up in advance. You get a private link in advance. There's no searching for charts at the last minute. There's none of that. I can just bam, bam. Yeah. I feel like I waste a lot of time sometimes. Okay, everybody. Happy full moon. We went through it tonight It gave an example in my life, even though I didn't go into details, but a couple of charts here had some stuff with those full moons, right? So hopefully everybody got through their full moon and released what they were ready to release. All right, guys, we're all set. We're done. We're ending it. Thank you. And I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.